Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So this is like an updated springy summer makeup routine, just what I'm wearing at the moment, just a little bit lighter, lots of glow. So if you want to see how I do my makeup and just have a bit of a chat with me, then keep watching. So I know that this is a bit of a shock from the intro because I don't have makeup on now, obviously, and look a bit like a happy potato, but that's okay. I just thought I would do like a chatty get ready with me today. Someone commented the other day asking about what was in my makeup bag, and I think I'm going to film a video after this as well, just to sort of show everything that I'm using currently. I do have a bit of a silly makeup collection in all honesty, but that's just because I love it. So I've started by moisturising. I've got clean hands, I've obviously showered, excuse my hair, I let that air dry last night because I had a shower last night as well. But I've gone in with the Beauty Pie Super Healthy Skin Ultimate Anti-Aging Cream, and I actually really like this. A lovely lady that I speak to a lot on here called Jules got me, it was so kind of her, she got me a Beauty Pie subscription that I was able to use to try for my birthday, and that's possibly one of the nicest things that someone's done for me. But I really like this. It was nice to give stuff like this a try because I've never committed before. And now what I'm going to go in with next is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. This is something that Mark got me for my, was it my birthday? I think it was my birthday or Christmas, but I'm feeling maybe birthday. I have to say, this is brilliant. I've tried a few like primers in my time. You can use this just as a moisturiser and primer all in one, but I like to moisturise and let it sink in first, just because I feel like my skin needs it as I'm getting older. But this is just absolutely brilliant. I just love the way it feels, I love the way it smells, and I'm very happy with it. Plus I'm thankful because while it's costly, a little bit does seem to go quite a long way, and it's lasted quite well so far because we're in March and I've still got loads left. So I'm just going to smooth that into the skin. Now I can't quite remember the last time I did a makeup look, but I kind of mix it up all the time. I'm very true to my base a lot of the time. When I find a base that works, I will stick with that for quite a while because I really love doing base makeup. I love like taking a blank canvas and just sort of like improving on it a little bit, like because I have spots and hyperpigmentation and dark circles and all of that normal stuff and skin texture. Like, you know, if I get up close and personal, you can see that I have quite dark circles here, and my eyes are kind of quite sunken as well. That's kind of syndrome thing, but it's okay. And then my pores are probably biggest on my nose. I have a strawberry birthmark here. I'm getting a bit wrinklier, and I have hyperpigmentation here from old spots and also here as well. But other than that, my skin's relatively, touch wood, clear from spots at the moment. So let's get cracking. It's a nice sunny day today. It's Tuesday the 22nd of March, and I just thought I would do this today. I've been working this morning without any makeup on, and then I thought, right, let's film this, let's do it, because I do get asked a lot. I'm going in now with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, and my old one ran out and I repurchased this. I normally have it in medium 4, and I think I've got medium 4.5 this time because I'm fake tanning more, and I'm gonna probably pick up more colour as it gets warmer. So what I do is I kind of put this on the areas that don't need as much coverage, which would be like my cheeks and my forehead, and then it's kind of this central strip here where I feel like my eyes and my nose and my chin kind of need a little bit more, because that's where I get like redness and stuff like that. So I've put that on my skin. And then the foundation is Charlotte's Beautiful Skin Foundation, and this is in the shade Neutral 7. I got this with money that I got from my birthday off my parents, and I love it. I've talked about it before in like a favourites video. The only thing I don't like is the packaging because it's a bit awkward to use, but the actual formula itself is wonderful. And I don't use much, I use like a little pump, can you see? There we go. And I just kind of focus that on the areas of my face where I need a bit more coverage. This is a Real Techniques brush. It's the let me find it, the Expert Face Brush, which I actually really like. and I'm just kind of working that into the skin. I don't put loads under my eyes because I obviously go in there afterwards with concealer, and the older I get, the more I'm about thin layers of coverage, just to kind of not settle into lines and wrinkles, and just because I prefer that look now. It's amazing, isn't it? As you grow older, your preference on makeup just completely changes, or at least it does with mine anyway. And I have a lot more makeup free days these days. Like Sunday, I pretty much never wear makeup on a Sunday unless we're going out somewhere. And I kind of like skincare a bit more than I used to. I've always been good for my skincare, but I'm a bit more interested in what it can do for my skin. While I hope to age naturally and gracefully, hopefully the universe is kind enough to let me do that. I've not got any greys yet, and I'm not massively wrinkly at 34, and you would hope as much, but I can tell I'm getting older, and I'm trying to operate on the philosophy that every day that I'm here and every day I get older is another day that I've been able to live. And getting older is a gift, isn't it? So that's that done. And as you can see, hopefully it's just kind of evened everything out a little bit more, because I don't want a big like mask of product. Excuse this redness on my neck as well, because that's from when I washed my face before, and I always go a bit red when I wash my face for some reason. So that's that. And now on to concealer. I really like this. It's the Revolution XX concealer. I can't remember the full name because it's not on here, but it's in the shade CX 5.7, and I will indeed leave this linked down below for you. So if you are interested in any of these products, then you can check them out. So basically, I've got a mirror here, by the way, so that's where I'm looking. I just kind of lightly put this where I feel like I need it. Again, I'm trying to be lighter now the weather's a bit nicer, because I feel like you can see it more in like bright sunshine and stuff. And then I always have redness around my nose. And then I'm gonna put some on my chin because I've got more noticeable hyperpigmentation there. And just on these little spots that I showed you before, if you remember, just because my skin's always like that. If I have a blemish, it always just sort of, or hyperpigmentation is kind of like a little temporary scar, and it does fade with time, but it's just the type of skin I have. So I'm just gonna use this brush again just to dab it into my face, and then I will use my fingers more around my eyes, just because it's the way I prefer to do it. Everybody does it differently though, don't they? Like, loads of people love beauty blenders, but I just can't get on with them for some reason. I much prefer a brush. I feel like I actually have more control over it. And then the same around my eyes. I get such bad dark circles. I've always been like that, even like as a child. And I think the way that my eyes are shaped kind of casts a bit of a shadow as well. So they can sometimes look worse, but I do get enough sleep. I think it must just be a kind of genetic thing. But yeah, today is just a work day for me. I've got lots of things to do. I'm trying to be very wary of the fact that Easter is creeping up on us, and obviously the kids will be away from school, and I just kind of want to make sure that I'm caught up on as much as possible, and we're prepared for everything. Daisy's birthday's in April, and there's all sorts going on at the moment, and I'm just trying to make sure I don't lose sight of everything, because the mental load, as they say, is intense, isn't it, as women? So that is my base, and hopefully you can see that. I've chosen to film this in like natural light with no lights and stuff, because I sometimes feel like lighting can make you look better than what you would do in person, and I think sometimes, especially with makeup videos, it's just important to show it as is, because that would be what you saw if you saw me in the street. So that is that, and now I'm going to go on to my setting powders. These are ones that I got for my wedding, and I still have loads of them left. This I have used for a good few years now, but this tub, I swear the last one lasted me about 18 months, which, I mean, maybe the shelf life shouldn't be that long, but especially over like COVID and stuff, I just didn't wear makeup as much, so it lasted forever. And then this was like a setting powder. It's like a bake powder basically, and I got the baby version and I've still got loads left, and I only really use this under my eyes. It's a Huda Beauty one. Will I repurchase it when it runs out? I kind of have to see how I get on without it first, because while I love makeup, I don't really like having loads of different products for different parts of my face. If I can keep it as minimal as possible, that's what I prefer. But I just like this because I do feel like it does a really good job of setting, but it's just a bit extra, you know, for a busy mum, I find. Like, I don't really always have the time to be putting extras on, but thankfully it doesn't take too long. So that's that. It is really good if you're doing makeup for like a special event and you want to make sure that you don't get creasing under your eyes and things like that. It's definitely worth it. But do you need it, especially for every day? Probably not. Now with this, there's a little bit of powder left in the lid, and I'm just going to start with that because you don't need much. And again, I'm just setting that on my face, because while my skin is getting drier, I am still prone to some kind of oily patches, so down the middle of my nose, and like my forehead and my chin, but everywhere else stays kind of okay. But this just kind of gives me the confidence that at least my makeup is going to last for a bit. I just run out of things to say in these chatty things. I don't know how people do it sometimes. Like, they start talking about everything and I can't even remember what I'm doing. So that is that. That's kind of like the base without any contour or anything like that. So now what I'm going to go in with is my NYX brow glue. I've actually changed the way that I use this. I used to put this on after shading in my brows, but now I put it on first, and I actually prefer the way it works because it gives my brows a little bit more structure to begin with, so then I feel like I can use less product. So all I do is basically just brush it through and try and get the overall shape that I want. I did pluck my brows recently, so you can be grateful for that because I'm really bad at letting them overgrow. You know, when you get all the hairy bits down here, and I just, it doesn't even take that long to do, but I don't like plucking my eyebrows because it hurts. I'm like a baby. It's probably worth saying as well that in the morning when I'm doing this, I'm not talking, I work a lot quicker, I kind of rush through it, to be honest. This is contour, this is the NYX Professional Makeup Highlight and Contour Pro Palette. NYX is a really affordable brand if you're looking for a starting point with makeup, especially stuff like this. Like, I love their contour stuff, I love their brushes, I love their lip products, their lip liners as well, really, really good. And yeah, I can really recommend them, but I'm just lightly contouring. I think you can already see the difference here to here. I don't know, I have a bit of a heart-shaped face, but because I like my food, it's less defined than perhaps it would be if I were a little bit smaller, but it's all right, because that's what contour's for. So I just kind of very loosely contour my face. I don't do any of the things with the cream contour that you see all these beautiful ladies do. Just kind of do something quick. But what I have started doing is that I'm trying to take my contour higher, because normally I would follow my cheekbones like this, but I have seen a few people doing it higher recently, and it just kind of works to lift the face, because if I go this way, it chisels my face, but it doesn't give me that lift. And I actually feel like I do really like it. There's a technique at the moment a lot of people are doing on, say, TikTok, where they actually contour where the highlight would go and their blush would go. That's too high for me, especially with my face dimension, but I can kind of adapt that technique to work on my face and what I prefer on myself. But I'm no expert, just do what I like. I think that's all we can do really in this world. You just gotta do you, haven't you? So I'm just bringing it onto my chin, making sure to blend into my neck. This foundation's a really good match for me. I did get matched at Selfridges, so you would hope as much. But there's not too much disguising to do there, but I do like to make sure that everything's blended, because there's nothing worse than catching sight of yourself, is there? And realising that you've like not blended properly and you look a bit like a clown. I've had those moments, believe me. I'm just going to take what's left on the brush, sort of squish it to fan it out, because I don't want to be faffing around for another brush when I'm in a rush. Poet and I didn't know it. And I'm just going to do my nose, and that is just a bit less flat than before. My hair is so messy, I'm so sorry. I will curl it at the end of the video so you can see me not looking scruffy. And then with blushes, I've been really enjoying two at the moment. I got this Dior one that again I wore for my wedding. Today I'm actually going to go to a trusty Revolution palette that I've bought several times over the years. This is the Ultra Blush Sugar and Spice palette, and as you can see, oh, I can't open it now, how embarrassing. I really like this colour and this colour, they're very similar. You can kind of see here that it's like a dusky pink. And when it's warmer, at the moment, I'm kind of mixing a bit of this with a bit of this, just to kind of give me a healthy pop of colour on my cheeks. And that's what I'm doing now. So another Real Techniques brush, and I'm going to swirl in the lighter colour first, and then just a touch of this one. And then I'm just going to pop that on my cheeks. Again, following that angle, you know, just to lift a bit more, because I'm getting old and stuff. And then I normally will, I've always done this, and put a little bit on the nose, because it kind of mimics what my skin does anyway. Like, I'll always flush a bit, and it just kind of, it looks more natural for me. So that is that. And then, as always, I'm not going to do my highlighter until the end, because I don't know why I have that routine, but I like to do it that way. So next up, everybody always asks about what's on my eyes, and it's usually this palette. I'm going to mix it up again today with two, but these are like my two favourites at the moment. The nice thing about eyeshadow palettes as well is that they last a really long time, and they're dead universal. I used this one again on my wedding day. It's the Too Faced Natural Nudes palette, and today I am going to borrow this colour here for my crease, and then I'm going to go in actually with the Nars Orgasm palette. I bought this last spring maybe, and as you can see I really like this as well. But it's really pretty shades. You could get away with just using this one, but I just like to have a bit more definition. So we're going to start with the Too Faced Natural Nudes, and I'm going to use one of my favourite brushes for like contouring the eye here into the crease, and I'm going to grab a bit of the shade Maple, which is the one that I'm using from this, for reference if you have this too. And I'm just going to start again quite high, so you'll see that my crease goes down, and I almost have hooded eyes, if you know what I mean. So I have to try and like lift my lid slightly and work within the space of my eyelid and then my brow bone, just to sort of open my eyes up a bit more. So kind of done that shape. Don't worry, I'm going to blend it, because it would look weird, I agree with you. And then do it on the other side, really, really rough. So with this one, or using the same brush because I'm a savage, I'm going to put this on the outer bit of my lid, this in the middle of my lid, and this on the inner corner of my lid. And I do this so quickly every morning, but I start with this one. This has quite a bit of fallout, so I'm just very quick and just sort of dab it on rather than painting it, because then I find that the fallout's worse. And then that's the other corner. And I suppose if you were going to use a term, it would be a bit of an ombre effect, but that's not really what I'm going for. I'm just trying to work with like the dimensions of my eye, and brighten it up as it goes towards the inner corner to make me look more awake and sprightly and all that good stuff. And now it's the lighter shade. Here we go. You'll have to let me know if you prefer like chatty videos like this, or if you just prefer them where I like cut to the next step, because I can do that too. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Brow Lift. I absolutely love this. I have it in medium brown. And the really nice thing about this is that, because it's almost running out, I've already bought the refill, and it's fantastic because when it runs out, it's not gonna work now. You take this bit out and you put a new bit in, so you don't need to like waste the rest of this packaging, and I just think that's so clever. I'm really impressed by that. So I have a standby because I don't like being without this now, and I haven't got much left. Plus I got it when ASOS had a sale on and it applied to makeup too, so I thought I would, you know, be smart. So we're going to go in with eyebrows, and I might need an extra mirror for this, so apologies in advance. But I'm just brushing through, and you'll notice that I really focus on the outer part of my brow. Again, because as I mentioned before, I don't have loads of hair at the front, and I don't want to like make it too harsh for my face, because it's obviously not typical for my brows to be super thick at the front, and to be honest, that can be what makes it look less natural anyway. So just go really light on the front, so it's more in keeping with how I grow hair above my eyes. So I'm gonna do the other side. So that is the brows done. And that was really quick and easy. And then, as we probably all know by now, I do love a bit of liquid eyeliner. I know some people don't, but again, I just feel like my eyes look more Charlotte when I have it on. It's kind of like my go-to. And I alternate between doing like really, really thick lines and more dramatic when I'm going out, and then like thinner ones during the day like this. So basically, it's really hard to show you because I can't do it justice properly looking in the viewfinder, because it's just not big enough. But then if I look down, you can't see. Shall we adjust you? I'm just gonna adjust you a little bit so I can lean down. Right, so my mirror's down here. And I do, because I have quite round eyes, I do gently, you don't want to be like stretching your eyelid to your ear, just really gently pull that, just so you can get a better view of your lid, because it's hard enough doing a straight line with these, let alone a curvy one. And as you can see, I just do it in like little strokes. I think that sometimes people feel like they have to do this one big line, but if you just start and do little bits as you go, and like you can go over it then once you kind of got like an outline going. And then I'm going to do the exact same here. And then now on to mascara. Now in this video I have two products that are from a previous brand collaboration. Obviously, let's rearrange you. Obviously, it goes without saying that this video isn't part of that. But as per the CMA guidelines, I have to tell you when I'm using something that has either been gifted or from a previous brand collaboration or piece of work or anything like that. And it's these. I did the work over on Instagram stories, so by the time this video goes up you probably won't be able to see them anymore because they are time sensitive. But they are from Iconic, and they came in a little set, and I've got the triple threat mascara and the Luster lip oil in She's a Peach, and this is in extreme black. But I did like a first time impressions thing on my stories, and I loved them. They are so good, and I've been really enjoying using them since. So let's start with the mascara. I'm really into knowing what the brush is like. I'm very funny with mascara. Some mascaras, no, I really don't like them. But it is a plastic brush, which I can be very picky with. I actually prefer a bristle brush normally, and I think I've said that quite a few times. But this formula is so creamy, and it is lengthening and thickening, and the brush for some reason just works really well. I also have the MAC one that I bought that, that hurt, that everybody was raving about, and I also absolutely adore this. However, the only thing with this is that you've got to be so gentle, because if I compare the bristles, this is so spiky, and if you do get it in your eyeball, it hurts. And you know, sometimes we do get it in our eyeballs, but it can ruin your makeup, can't it? Anyway, I'm rambling, so I'm just gonna do my normal wiggle. Honestly, it grips the lashes. Can you see it doing that? I love it. I really am enjoying using it. I'm alternating between both of those two mascaras at the moment. I do love some drugstore ones, like the L'Oreal Paradise Aesthetic is another fave of mine. Really like that one. And I'm very lucky to be able to try this one too. It's not every day that I will have some fancy mascaras hanging around in my makeup bag, I've got to say. But it's very exciting. So there's my eyes. I did edit that part out because it was just me like this. and then Mark came in. But what can you do? So I really like that. And they are just like fresh, pretty spring eyes. There's nothing like crazy to them. I just want them to be bright. It kind of reflects like my mood and when the weather's nice and that kind of thing. So I'm gonna have some more now lukewarm coffee. Right, lip liner. Shout out to my my homegirl here. This is NYX's lip pencil in Ever. When I went to the Trafford Centre a few weeks back now with my family, I wanted to replace her because she's getting more and more difficult to sharpen. You know, when you can't get enough grip anymore. And I tried to buy a new one and then I couldn't find it. So I managed to find this one, which is slightly different. However, I really like this. It's the Rimmel Lasting Finish Exaggerate Automatic Lip Liner in Rose Addiction. And if I compare them for you, can you see that they are somewhat of a similar shade? And I really am enjoying this Rimmel one. And I like that it rolls up, so I don't have to sharpen it, which is quite cool. Plus like Rimmel and NYX and Revolution and stuff like that, like as I said before, I love their products and I love even more that they're dead affordable. So what I'm gonna do with this is that I'm just gonna line my lips. Now personally, I don't overline them because I feel like people can just tell, and my lips are my lips, and it's one of those, isn't it? However, I've got quite pale lips, if you can tell, so I do quite enjoy giving them some colour again. And then what I'm going to do is put the tiniest amount of my old fave, again, the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in Stockholm. I love it, and it's just a little wash. That's it, just to add a bit more colour. As you can actually see my lips a bit better now. And then, oh, found the lid, everyone, panic over. Then the other product that I was using as part of my work with Iconic London is this lip light oil. It's so nice. It's really moisturising and smooth. Obviously it has a little bit of colour, but I think it's so pretty for spring. And if you don't like that feeling, you know, like when we used to wear lip gloss as a kid, and if you like did that, it almost like came apart like glue. It's nothing like that at all. And I love a glossy lip, especially in spring and summer, because for me it's all about like moisture and vibrance and like pretty and light. And I think that a glossy lip always looks a lot less heavy than a matte one. Might just be me, but I love it. And that's that one. And then now we need to put my highlighter on, which I seem to have lost. There we go. Now, I've worked with Iconic twice before, once this year and once with last year, and this was from that collaboration as well, but I'm using this at the moment because I just love it. It's the Iconic London Illuminator. This is the original one. They have a few different colours, like a darker, more like tan shade, and then more of a pinky shade, so obviously have a look around to see what is more for you. But I'm just taking it. Now you'll see a lot of people with this, they get the applicator and they go dot, dot, dot. But this stuff is pigmented and you do not need 3 fat dots of it on your face. Not only is it like complete waste of product, but you're gonna look, I don't know, you're gonna look like a traffic sign that's been illuminated by car lights. Do you know what I mean? You know, when they're like, vroom. And I feel like it's just a bit more natural. If you take it onto your palm, well, the back of your hand rather, and then just dab it on and layer it bit by bit, because then you've got more control of it. Because those big spots are really hard to blend out, really hard. And then I just take a bit on the end of my nose, not too much, man, because we don't want to embody Rudolph, not for another 9 months yet, anyway. And then in the words of Keira Knightley in Love Actually, I look quite pretty. I don't actually, well, you know what, I like myself with makeup on, and I've gotten used to loving my face, and you know what, gotta love yourself in this world. I always hate it when people say, oh my gosh, she loves herself, and I'm like, yeah, what else is she supposed to do? Like, hate herself? Like, you've gotta love yourselves. It's so weird that you've been loved by yourself and other people too. That's what I think anyway. But that is my face, and shall we do my hair? Let's do my hair, come on. 40 minutes later. Okay, so I'm not going to do the full thing because when I looked up before it said like 40 minutes. I'm clearly going to have to edit a lot of my personality out of this video. But normally if I remember to, like I should have done last night but I fell asleep watching TikTok in bed, I was meant to be putting my heatless curlers in, you know, the big thing that I put on my head and clip it into place. But as I mentioned, I fell asleep, so I just went to sleep with damp hair, and that's why it looks a bit frizzy. So today I'm going to curl it with these instead. They're just the Babyliss ones. They're very cheap and cheerful. And what I used to do was alternate my curls. So one went one way, then the next went another, and then the next one another, and so on and so forth. But at the moment, to mimic my heatless curlers, because I really like the look that it gives, I am curling them all the same way. So it's back away from my face. So this way is like that, and this way is like that. I'm doing that to my whole head, and then I will come back and say bye-bye because it's going to be too long otherwise. And I do have hair videos, which I can link below if that helps. And that is my hair done. Now, admittedly, this is too curly for me than what I like. I prefer it when it drops out a bit, or I get like second day curls, because these will last me now because my hair's clean, probably like today, tomorrow, and the next day, and then I'll wash it again. But that is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed it, getting ready with me. As you can see, it's nothing too heavy. It's just designed to be sort of glowy and like ready for some sunshine, which I'm very pleased to say it's finally come out. We've been promised some really good weather this week, and I really hope it sticks around. But thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you all very, very soon.